You've been working hard, showing up, delivering results, and yet the promotion hasn't come. The salary hike was 6%. The recognition feels invisible. If that sounds familiar, and you're not alone. And more importantly, it's not your fault. Nobody taught you the real rules of career growth. I'm Ravi Motwani, author, leadership coach, and someone who spent 25 years inside Indian corporate boardrooms watching talented people get overlooked simply because they didn't know what I'm about to share with you. What you're about to watch is my career growth masterclass, a 90-minute deep dive that covers everything from the mindset shifts that unlock your growth to the skills that make you irreplaceable, to how to build a personal brand at work, how to navigate office politics, how to win your appraisal, and finally negotiate the salary you actually deserve. This is not a motivational pep talk. This is a practical playbook. I've curated 11 of my best videos from the Career Advice series and arranged them in exact sequence you need, from foundation to execution. So save this video, watch it when you have 90 minutes, and share it with someone who needs it. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. I post career and leadership tips every week. All right, so let's get into this. Here is everything that we are going to cover today. Everyone says they want growth, they want better roles, they want bigger salary, more respect. But when things go wrong, most people, the first instinct is blame. I once coached a senior executive who kept getting passed over for promotions. Every year, the same story. My boss doesn't like me. The company politics are too much. Others, they have better connections. Not once did he say, "What am I doing that's keeping me where I am?" The day he shifted from blame to ownership, everything changed. Within a year, he got promoted, not because the company changed, but because he stopped negotiating with excuses. He started taking responsibility. Let's get into what accountability actually means and why without it your career stays stuck no matter how talented you are. You don't grow because you're not bad at your work. You don't grow because you avoid responsibility when it matters. People who rise fast take blame when things fail. They take charge when things are unclear. They take action without waiting for permission. Accountability is not a word, it's a habit of ownership. Use the simple framework to build accountability. Own it. Observe the reality. Write down what you can control. Name the excuses you are making. Initiate action without waiting. Track your progress weekly. This is not motivational fluff. It's repeatable system. And here are 5 practical steps that you can take. The first one is observe the reality. Stop sugarcoating your situation. Ask yourself what exactly is happening without emotional padding. For example, if you miss deadlines, lack of planning, not workload. Poor feedback is weak communication, not biased manager. No promotion is no clear value, not bad luck. You can't fix what you refuse to face. The second one, write what you control. People waste energy on things they can't influence. What do you control? Preparation, skill building, effort, discipline, communication, attitude, follow through. And what you do not control? office politics, manager's mood, market fluctuations, luck. Who else gets promoted? The moment you stop blaming what you can't control, your growth accelerates. The third step, name the excuses. Accountability, it starts when you call out your own BS. Examples, I didn't have time. No, you didn't prioritize. I need motivation. No, you need discipline. I'll start when things settle. They never settle. So the script to use with yourself is I'm not doing it because I'm avoiding discomfort, not because I can't. Growth is uncomfortable. If you're avoiding discomfort, you're avoiding the growth itself. The fourth one, initiate action without waiting. Most people, they wait for clarity, for permission, for confidence, for perfect timing. Leaders, they start first, they adjust later. Example, instead of saying, let me check and get back, say, I'll send you a plan by tomorrow. Let's align after that. Action creates clarity, not the other way around. And the fifth one, track progress weekly. Accountability without tracking is wishful thinking. Every Sunday, answer 3 questions. Okay. The first one, what did I say I would do last week? The second one, did I do it? The third one, if not, why? And what will I change? No drama, no excuses, just facts and correction. And here is a simple application that will take just 1 minute. In your next performance review, performance appraisal, instead of defending yourself, try this. Here are the mistakes I made. Here's what I learned. And here's what I will do differently the next quarter or the next review cycle. Your manager will take you seriously because accountability, it signals maturity. And maturity is often what gets promoted, not just skill. A simple example of your before and after would be, let's say before you would say, deadlines were missed because the client didn't respond on time. Now, after would be, we missed deadlines. Here's what I should have done differently. Set earlier checkpoints, escalated sooner, and define clearer dependencies. Next time, I'll implement weekly progress reports to avoid slippage. Now you notice the difference. No drama, just ownership and solutions. Now reflect on this. It should take just 30 seconds. Ask yourself, where in my life am I blaming instead of taking responsibility? And follow this with a small exercise. For the next 7 days, at the end of each day, write down 1 excuse you made, 1 action you will take instead. And then watch how fast your confidence grows when the excuses, they disappear. Your career is not stuck because the world is unfair. Your career is stuck because you're waiting for someone else to fix your life. Growth begins the moment you say, it's on me and I will change it. Not someday, not when the situation improves, now. And if you want to level up your leadership game, then do check out the series that I have made for you. I'm sure it'll help you in your leadership journey. Welcome to the future. It's 2026 and everything is changing. AI, remote work, sustainability. Old rules no longer apply. If you want real career security, you need skills that drive results and make you irreplaceable. So are you ready for the 5 hottest must-have skills for the next decade? Let's start. First one, AI collaboration and literacy. Let's get real. AI isn't just for techies anymore. Today, AI tools like ChatGPT, Copilot, Perplexity, and hundreds of industry-specific bots, they shape decision making from marketing to healthcare. You don't need to code, but you do need to communicate with AI, ask the right questions, and know how to blend your expertise with machine intelligence. Imagine automating your reports, using AI to prep for meetings, or letting a bot sift through data while you focus on strategy. Want proof? Well, according to LinkedIn and World Economic Forum, AI fluency is one of the fastest growing skills employers are hiring for in 2026. And those who can collaborate with AI are often paid 20-30% more in these roles because they drive massive productivity. Example, let's say you're a manager. AI can analyze performance metrics in seconds, freeing you to coach your team. Or if you're in sales, AI tools can predict customer needs faster than any spreadsheet ever could. Skill 2, data storytelling. Everyone talks about big data, but raw numbers, they mean nothing if you can't pull out insights and share them in a way that people understand. Whether you're pitching ideas, reporting to leadership, or building a business case for your project, data storytelling makes your work actionable. The hottest leaders and entrepreneurs today, they don't just crunch numbers. They turn them into clear stories, visuals, and calls to actions. Master tools like Power BI, Tableau, or simple chart making, and learn to weave a narrative around every number. In 2026, leaders with strong data storytelling skills are winning promotions and landing key roles because they build trust and drive decisions. For example, picture presenting your quarterly results. Would you throw like a busy spreadsheet, or would you show a powerful chart that reveals the trends, the risks, and the next steps in 30 seconds? Number 3, sustainability mindset. Every company, big or small, is under pressure to prove that it cares about people, it cares about the planet. Employers are scrambling to hit net zero. They launch green initiatives and embed environmental, social governance, ESG, into their business models. Now, if you can spot ways to save energy, to reduce waste, to lead greener projects, you will be ahead. No longer just a nice to have. Sustainability is now a critical business skill. In every meeting, ask how can we do this with less impact? In 2026, teams that embrace sustainability are getting noticed and promoted. So here's an example. Imagine leading a project to cut energy costs by 10%, or finding ways to reuse material in a design. Those who think green are seen as leaders. The 4th skill, digital communication mastery. As remote and hybrid teams, they become norm, right? Your ability to connect, to persuade, and build relationships virtually is more important than ever. This goes beyond just sending emails. It's about running engaging video meetings, building trust through instant messaging, and launching global campaigns that get noticed. In fast-moving workplaces, leaders who communicate clearly, especially across cultures and time zones, with loyalty, and they drive results. So here's an example. Ever joined a boring Zoom call? The future belongs to those who can spark conversation, who can ask tight questions, and who can keep remote teams pumped even when working from different continents. And number 5, lifelong learning and adaptability. This is my favorite. In 2026, change is constant. Technologies, business models, customer needs, they are shifting rapidly. The average shelf life of a technical skill, less than 3 years. Those who succeed are lifelong learners, constantly upgrading, reskilling, embracing change. Take the micro courses now, join online communities, chase certifications. Always be ready to pivot. Adaptability isn't just about coping, it's about chasing new opportunities. It's about leading change. It's about staying ahead of the curve. Here's an example for you. If your company switches software or pivots its strategy, do you stress out or do you jump in and learn fast enough to lead? Ask yourself. So let's bring it home. The hottest must-have skills in 2026: AI collaboration, data storytelling, sustainability mindset, digital communication, and lifelong learning. Pick one and start now, because your future is built on today's momentum. Which skill will you master first? Comment below and let's build the future together. When I started my career, I thought leadership was all about being the smartest person in the room, knowing the answers, making the decisions. But it wasn't. There was one skill, just one, that completely changed how people saw me, how I led teams, and honestly, how fast I grew. And today, I'm going to share that skill with you. What it is, how I learned it is the hard way, and how you can start building it right now. Because if you're a young professional or a first-time leader, this might be the one thing that transforms your leadership too. The mistake most new leaders make. Let me start with a quick story. When I got my first leadership role, I thought my job was to prove myself. And I'd jump into every problem, give my opinion in every meeting, and make every decision faster than anyone else. It felt like leadership, but it wasn't. All I was doing was controlling, not leading. I was the bottleneck, not the guide. And guess what? My team started to hesitate. They'd wait for me before acting. Morale dipped, energy dropped, and I realized something powerful. Leadership isn't about control. It's about clarity. But clarity comes from one skill, the skill that changed everything for me. That is active listening. Now, before you roll your eyes, no, this isn't just listen more. Active listening is strategic. It means you're not listening to reply. You're listening to understand, coach, and connect. When you truly listen, three things happen. People, they feel seen, and trust grows instantly. Second, you learn context, not just facts, but emotions and motivations. And third, you make better decisions because you're leading with insight, not assumption. Most leaders, they speak to impress. Great leaders, they listen to influence. And once I started doing that, everything shifted. I remember one specific meeting. A team member was frustrated about a project delay. Old me would have just jumped into it. Here's what we'll do and, start off. But that day, I just asked, tell me what's really blocking us. And then I shut up. For 3 minutes, I just listened. And in those 3 minutes, I learned more about my team's morale, their workload, and blind spots than in the past 3 months. That conversation didn't just fix a project, it built trust. And from that day, people started coming to me, not because I had answers, but because I made space for theirs. That's when I realized listening isn't passive, it's powerful. So how do you actually practice active listening as a young leader? Here's simple 3-step habit, something I still use every single day. Step 1, pause before you reply. When someone finishes speaking, take 2 seconds before responding. That pause shows presence and stops you from reacting emotionally. Step 2 is reflect back. Say, So what I'm hearing is, or it sounds like you're saying, this builds clarity and shows empathy. And the third step, ask a powerful question instead of giving advice. Ask, what do you think would work best here? That's leadership, turning listening into growth. Do this in every meeting for a week, and you'll feel the shift in trust, in confidence, in results. Once I started leading this way, listening more, talking less, my team performed better, conflicts dropped, promotions came faster, not because I was louder, but because I was more effective. Senior leaders, they noticed. And that's when it hit me. People don't follow titles. They follow those who make them feel heard. That's the secret. That's the leadership skill that changed everything for me. So if you take just one thing from this video, let it be this. Leadership starts with listening. Practice it this week in your team, your family, even your friendship. And watch how people start seeing you differently. And if this helped you, hit that subscribe button. Share it with a young leader who needs it. And let's keep growing together. Because real leadership isn't about being in charge. It's about bringing out the best in others. Most people work hard. Most people put in the hours. Most people do their tasks. And yet, most people stay underpaid, undervalued, overlooked. Today's video will change that. Because today I'm breaking down the real rules of career growth. The rules high value professionals follow, but no one teaches you. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to get paid more, how to grow faster, how to become impossible to ignore, and how to increase your market value, not just your experience. So let's start. Here's the hard truth. Your salary has nothing to do with how hard you work. If it did, then the construction workers, the nurses, the teachers, some of the hardest working people on earth would be the richest. But that's not how careers work. Careers, they grow on impact, not effort. Companies don't pay for sweat. They pay for the outcomes. So let's take an example. 2 employees. One is working 12 hours a day, but only completes assigned tasks. The other works 8 hours, but solves problems, improves systems, and creates value. Now guess who gets promoted? The second one. Every single time. Because high effort is respect, high impact is reward. So stop doing more work. Start doing more valuable work. Let's talk about the biggest lie in corporate life. I have 10 years of experience. No. Most people have 1 year of experience repeated 10 times. Experience increases your age. Skill evolution increases your income. Your market value grows when your skills grow, not your years. So here's a quick exercise for you. Pause and ask yourself, in the last 12 months, which new skill have I mastered? And if the answer is 0, your income will also stay close to 0 growth. Across every industry, every country, every company, only 3 types of people get paid more. The first one, problem solvers. They don't wait for instructions. They fix things. They remove friction. They make everything run smoother. The second type of people are the revenue drivers. They directly bring money in, or they prevent money from leaking out. These people are worth gold. And third, leaders who lift others. They elevate teams. They create trust. They make the entire environment better. And if you're not in one of these categories, then your compensation will always have a ceiling. But the moment you enter even one of these, your earning potential explodes. Who do you want to become? 1, 2, or 3? Let me know in the comments. And here's a career secret no one teaches. Silent workers, they stay underpaid. If your manager has to figure out your contribution, you will never be fully compensated. High value professionals, they make their work visible. How? Through a monthly impact report. 1 email, 5 bullet points. Here is what I delivered. Here is what I improved. Here is what I prevented. Here's how it impacted the business. Here's an idea for next month. This one email, it builds your promotion case line by line over months. Remember, visibility is equal to velocity. Most people, they wait for promotions. But top performers know this rule. You don't get promoted first. You become the next role first. You start thinking like the next level, solving problems at the next level, showing maturity at the next level. And suddenly, the title chases you. Promotion is not a gift. It's a confirmation of growth that has already happened. You outgrow your current role and the company upgrades you. This is how high value professionals, they move up fast. And this part is important. Average people and high value professionals, they think differently. Average people, they ask, how much will they pay me? High value people, they ask, what value can I create that no one else is creating? Average people, they look at workload. High performers, they look at impact, leverage, positioning. Income is not luck, it's a reflection of the size of problems that you can solve. So you want bigger income, solve bigger problems. Top earners, they follow a simple rule. Deliver 3x the value of your salary. If you're paid 10 lakhs, deliver 30 lakhs worth of value. If you're paid 20 lakhs, deliver 60 lakhs in outcome. Suddenly your salary seems cheap. And companies, they will really fight to retain you because you're no longer an employee. You are an asset. Become the person they can't afford to lose. And if you want to grow your career and compensation faster, here is the game plan. Upgrade rare skills. Communicate your impact. Act one level above. Solve higher value problems. Build visibility. Protect your energy. Deliver more value than you're paid for. Do this for 6 months and you will not recognize your career. High value professionals, they aren't lucky. They are intentional. And starting today, you can be one of them. If you feel invisible at work, it's not bad luck, it's positioning. Let me elaborate on that. If you're a top performer, you deliver amazing work. You know your stuff inside out. But when you speak in meetings, it feels like people are politely nodding, waiting for you to finish so they can move on. It's like you're invisible when it's time for a promotion. You watch other people. Sometimes people you know aren't qualified. They climb the ladder while you're stuck on the same rung. It's frustrating. It's a common feeling for anyone who's ambitious. You work hard, you do everything right, but you're still being overlooked. If that sounds even a little familiar, I need to tell you a story. about a programmer named Rakesh. Rakesh was the best coder on his team, but he kept getting passed over for promotions. And the reason why is a lesson that could completely change your career. So let's start with the story of Rakesh, the rock star who became invisible. By every measure, Rakesh was a rock star developer. His code was clean, efficient, and almost totally bug free. When a tough problem had the whole team pulling their hair out, he was the one who dive in and emerge with a brilliant solution. He worked harder than anyone. He'd stay late, help colleagues who were stuck, and his technical output was not, it was just unmatched. His manager even called him one of the best on the team. In his own mind, Rakesh was indispensable. He believed, like a lot of us do, that the work would speak for itself, that being great at his job was the only thing that mattered for getting ahead. But a weird pattern started to pop up. A junior developer he had personally mentored got promoted to team lead instead. A few months after, an outsider was hired for a senior role that Rakesh felt was for him. And each time the feedback was, "You're doing great work, Rakesh. Keep it up. Your time will come." But it never did. Because the problem wasn't his code. It was all the small, seemingly insignificant moments in between the big projects. It started with tiny things. After a brainstorm, his manager asked him, "Rakesh, great ideas. Can you send a follow-up email with the key points?" Rakesh, already thinking about the next coding problem, he said, "Absolutely, will do." But then he got pulled into a bug fix. The email slipped his mind and it never got sent. A week later, a colleague asked, "Hey, did you get a chance to update the document, the shared document with your notes?" Rakesh, embarrassed, had forgotten. Said, "Oh, right, I'll get to it this afternoon." But the afternoon brought another crisis and the document was never touched. He'd say, "I'll look into that minor bug," but forgot to file the ticket. He had promises, "Let's grab coffee to sync up," but never sent the invite. Each one was a tiny failure, actually, but together they started to paint a picture. They were small, broken promises, and broken promises, no matter how small, are like tiny cracks in the foundation of trust. Now, here's the climax, the conversation that changed everything. So, the final blow came during the annual review. Another lead position had opened up, and this time Rakesh was sure that this was his shot. He just delivered the most critical part of the company's biggest product, and his performance ratings were through the roof. He sat down with his manager, Suresh, and his heart practically beating out of his chest. Suresh started with the usual praise. "Rakesh, your technical work this year has been outstanding. Truly top tier." Now, Rakesh smiled, waiting for the "and," not the "but." "But we have decided to give the lead position to Raj." Rakesh's smile evaporated. In a hot flash of anger, he said, "Why?" Suresh took a deep breath. "Rakesh, your work is brilliant, but leadership isn't about brilliant work. It's about reliability. It's about trust." He paused, and his next words hit him like a ton of bricks. "I have to know that the person leading this team will follow through on everything, big and small. You told me you'd send that follow-up email, and you didn't. You promised to update that doc, and it's still empty. These are small things, I know, but the small misses made me wonder if I could count on you for big things." He explained that being a lead wasn't just about coding anymore. It was about managing expectations, about communicating progress, and making sure every single loop was closed. "If I can't trust you to send an email you promised to send," he said gently, "how can I trust you to deliver a multi-million-dollar project on time? It's not about your skill. It's about my confidence in your word." Now, Rakesh sat there stunned. For the first time, he saw his career not through the lens of his amazing code, but through the eyes of the people who needed to rely on him. He was the hardest worker, the best coder, but to his manager, he was a risk. Finally, here's the analysis: why reliability trumps brilliance. This story isn't some rare exception. It points to a brutal truth of the professional world. Your work doesn't always speak for itself. Your boss and your colleagues, they speak for it. And their opinion is shaped more by your reliability than your raw talent. Think about it. When you fail to follow through on a small commitment, you're sending a message whether you mean to or not. The message is, you can't count on me. And in the world of work, dependability is the currency of trust. Without trust, your influence is zero. Without trust, nobody takes you seriously. Put yourself in a manager's shoe. When they delegate something, they aren't just handling off work. They're betting their own reputation on you. If you drop the ball, they are the one who has to answer for it. Every broken promise, no matter how tiny, adds to their stress and chips away at their confidence in you. And this isn't just about managing up. Your peer seat, that colleague waiting for your notes, you just became the bottleneck. That team that needed your input, your silence was a blocker. Over time, people just learn to work around you. They stop asking for your help. They leave you out of important conversations, and they stop seeing you as a leader. You basically turn yourself into a ghost. People don't respect what you say you'll do. They respect what you've done. So what's the solution? How can one become reliable? How do you build a reputation for being so reliable that you're taken seriously by default? It boils down to a few simple habits. First, if it takes less than 2 minutes, do it now. This is the 2-minute rule. That confirmation email, that quick document update, don't put it on a list. Don't tell yourself you'll do it later. Just do it immediately. This one habit alone will revolutionize your say-do ratio. Second, write everything down. Your brain is for having ideas, not storing them. Don't ever trust yourself to remember every little promise. Use a notebook, a notes app, a task manager, whatever works for you. The moment you make a commitment, write it down and give it a deadline. Getting it out of your head and into a system is the only way to make sure it doesn't get lost. Third, communicate before you're late. Reliability isn't about being perfect. It's about managing expectations. If you promise something and realize that you can't deliver on time, don't just go quiet and hope nobody notices. Proactively communicate the delay. A quick message that says, hey, I know I said I'd have this by 3 p.m., but something urgent came up. I can get it to you by 5 p.m. This actually builds trust. Silence destroys it. And fourth one, always close the loop. This is so important. When you finish a task someone asked for, don't just silently check off your list. Send a quick confirmation, a simple done, or just updated the document, or follow-up email sent. Closes the mental loop for the other person. It lets them stop worrying about it. It's a small act of communication that shows massive respect for their time and energy. Now, before we wrap up, I want you to think of one small commitment you can follow through on this week. It could be that one email you've been putting off. Do it. Then come back here and comment below, done. Let's start building that reliability muscle together. And hey, if this was valuable, hit that subscribe button for more career advice that actually works. Being taken seriously at work isn't about being the smartest person in the room. It's about being the most dependable. Rakesh's story is a warning against the myth that just doing good work is enough. Your talent and hard work get you in the door, but it's the trust and reliability that get you a seat at the table. Your reputation is built on 1,000 small promises you either keep or break. Every time you follow through, you add a brick of that foundation of trust. Every time you don't, you pull away one. Your goal is to build a foundation so solid that when the next big opportunity comes along, your name is seen not as a risk, it's seen as a rock. That's how you command respect. That's how you make sure that when you speak, everyone actually listens. Ever wonder why some people seem to attract career opportunities, awesome projects, or clients almost like a magnet, while others get overlooked? Let's change that for you today. In today's video, I'm going to give you a simple step-by-step guide to build your professional brand so that opportunities don't pass by, they find their way to you. So let's start with step one. Define your core identity. Your brand starts with clarity. So ask yourself, who am I professionally? What do I stand for? One simple exercise is to write down 3 words you'd want colleagues or clients to immediately associate with you. For example, if you ask my colleagues about me, probably they would say I'm resourceful, I'm a mentor, I'm a leader. When I was starting out, I used to think that my brand was just my job title, like operations manager or a team leader. But over time, I realized my brand was actually about how people experienced working with me. That changed everything. So right now, pause and write down your 3 words. Who are you at your best? Step number 2, craft your value proposition. Once you know your identity, the next step is your promise of value. Think of it like this. Why should someone collaborate with you, hire you, or listen to your ideas? A value proposition is created at the intersection of 3 things: your strengths, the problems you solve, and the results others experience with you. For instance, maybe you're great at simplifying complex data into practical business decisions. That's not just a skill, it's a value proposition. Now figure out your signature promise. What do you bring nobody else does? Maybe you're a problem solver. Maybe you're a motivator. Maybe you're a leader. In 10 seconds or less, how would you explain your superpower to a new boss or a client? Take a minute and note that down. Remember, clear value propositions stick. For example, I turn complex ideas into simple solutions, or I inspire teams to take action. Next one is step 3. Polish your online presence. Here's where most professionals lose consistency. They say one thing in person, but online it's a different story. Your LinkedIn, your portfolio, even your email signature, they are all parts of your brand. So let's do an activity. Let's check your digital footprint. On your smartphone, open a new tab on Google, type in your name, and see what comes up. Are you surprised? Are you concerned? Are you proud? Align your LinkedIn, your portfolio, even your profile pic, make them all say the same story. And are you posting in your field? Are you sharing your expertise? Well, here's a challenge. This week, post about your field, share your learnings, engage in thoughtful discussions. And remember, every post you put out is either building your brand or confusing it. And you can tag me on that post. I can support you on that. Now that we have that in place, let's move to step number 4. How to cultivate your professional presence. See, a professional brand isn't just digital. It's how you show up in real life. Are you approachable in meetings? Do you give credit when credit is due? Do people feel better after interacting with you? These are subtle things that represent your identity more than a resume ever will. A great tip is to work on your signature behavior. Maybe you're the person who always asks one powerful question in every meeting, or you're known for summarizing discussions in a way that clears confusion. That's brand building in action. So practice it this week and make a note of what you choose. Step number 5 is build your network strategically. Your brand doesn't live in isolation, it grows with your network. And networking isn't about collecting business cards, it's about collecting relationships. When I began, I made the mistake of only reaching out when I needed something. Big mistake. Real networking is about consistently sharing, supporting, connecting. Over time, people trust you and your brand strengthens. Think about it. Are you leaving people with the impression that you're just transactional, or that you care about building long-term professional relationships? Drop a hello to three people in your industry today without asking for anything. Just check in, share a resource, or give encouragement to them. And now the important step, step 6, showcase your proof of work. Brands are not built on words alone, they are built on evidence. Start creating small, visible demonstration of what you do best. Write an article, record a video, contribute to a project, or even share case studies of the problems you've solved. Think of it like a portfolio. If people only hear what you can do, they'll doubt it. If they can see, they'll trust. The trust is what makes opportunities naturally flow to you. So go ahead and share one tip this week and tag people who cheer you, or tag me and I can cheer you on. Last but certainly not the least, step 7 is consistency. Finally, understand this. Brand building isn't a one-time project. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. So show up with your values repeatedly. Keep sharing your expertise. Stay visible. At the same time, let your brand evolve. The version of you today may not be the version of you 5 years later. That's okay. Strong brands don't stay frozen. They grow like people do. Look at my first post on LinkedIn or my first video on YouTube. You evolve with practice. You get better, and that's growth. Embrace it. And here's my challenge to you. This week, pick just one step from what we discussed. Maybe defining your 3 words, maybe updating your LinkedIn, maybe building a piece of proof of work. Take action, however small, because the sooner you stop leaving your brand to chance, the sooner you'll take control of your career story. And trust me, that makes all the difference. Networking. That's today's topic. And in this video, I will share 5 secrets that will completely change what you think about networking. These aren't just tips, they are fundamental shift in your approach. We are going to move from transactional, traditional networking into a space of genuine curiosity, mutual value, and real growth. So by the end of this video, you will master networking like a pro. But first, the fundamental question. Do you think networking is boring? Well, I know many professionals are not a fan of networking. Some people say they are really tired of awkward, small talk and meaningless business card swaps. But what if I told you that networking can become your secret weapon for career growth and even lifelong relationships? How? Let's find out. But before that, why does networking matter? Well, studies show, and I'm sure a lot of us already know, that over 80% of jobs, they are filled through connections rather than the online applications. Now, that's a powerful data point. And great networking isn't about selling yourself. It's about building genuine relationships that lead to these opportunities, that lead to mentorship, that lead to personal growth. So let's first clear some networking myths. Networking is only for extroverts. False. Introverts make amazing networkers thanks to their listening skills. You have to chit-chat at parties and events. Wrong. Networking happens everywhere, online, in meetings, even at the gym. It's all about quantity. Incorrect. Quality beats quantity. One great relationship is worth more 50 superficial ones. Now that the fundamental questions are answered, let's jump into the secrets. Secret number 1, the mindset shift. Stop collecting, start connecting. The first and most important secret is all about a mindset shift. The biggest mistake people make is approaching networking like they're trying to collect Pokemon cards. They think the goal is to grab as many contacts as possible, get a business card, add them on LinkedIn, and mentally check a box. That's a fast track to a wide but incredible shallow network, a list of names with no real substance. This is transactional thinking, and it's exactly what makes networking feel so self centered. The best networkers don't collect contacts, they build relationships. They know that networking isn't a sprint you run only when you need a job. It's a marathon you run for your entire career. You don't start building relationships when you need something. That's like having a friend who only calls when they need to borrow money. It feels opportunistic. So, how do you make this shift? It starts with genuine curiosity. When you meet someone, your goal isn't to figure out what they can do for you. Your goal is to learn who they are. Be truly interested in their story, their challenges, what they're passionate about. When you approach conversations with a desire to understand rather than desire to gain, the entire dynamics change. It stops being a pitch and it starts being a real conversation. Think about it. Would you rather have 500 LinkedIn connections who barely know your name or 50 trusted contacts who respect you and would actually help you if you asked? That smaller group is infinitely more powerful. It's a network built on trust. And that's the foundation of any successful career. Secret number two, the value first mandate. Be a giver, not a taker. This leads right into our second secret, which is how you put the new mindset into action. The quickest way to kill your career growth is to only reach out when you need something. It's transactional and it makes people feel used. The solution is simple. Always lead with generosity. Focus on what you can give, not what you can get. Now, a lot of people, especially if they are early in their career, they immediately think, but I don't have anything to give. I don't have a high level job or ton of money. What value can I offer? This is a huge misunderstanding of what value really means. Value isn't just about money or status. It comes in many forms. And trust me, everyone has something valuable to offer. Think of your network like a bank account of goodwill. Every time you add value to someone's life, you make a deposit. So, what does this value look like in practice? First, share your connections. This is one of the most powerful things you can do. If you're talking to someone and realize they have a problem that another person in your network could solve, make an introduction. Second, share your knowledge. You have a unique point of view from your own experience. Did you just read a great industry article or listen to a game changing podcast or find a tool that made your life 10% easier? Share it. A simple message saying, I saw this and thought of our conversation is an incredible way to stay on someone's radar and show you're thinking of them. And third, just offer your support and your ear. Sometimes the most valuable thing you can give is your undivided attention. Practice active listening. Don't just wait for your turn to talk. Listen to understand. Ask thoughtful questions. Acknowledge their wins. Give them a pat on the back. Or simply say, I really appreciate you sharing that. In a world where everyone is distracted, giving someone your full attention is a rare gift. And secret number three, go for depth, not distance. Now, this secret pushes back against the idea that more is always better. It's about prioritizing the quality of your connections over the quantity. Trying to maintain hundreds of surface level relationships is just a recipe for burnout. The goal is to build a small, curated group of deep, meaningful connections. Traditional networking can feel like speed dating. You have a 2-minute chat to swap the cards and move on, left with a blur of faces and shallow conversations. The solution is to go deeper. When you meet someone, don't just ask the boring, so what do you do? The question is a conversation killer. Instead, get curious about the person. Ask questions that invite a story. Like, what's the most exciting project you're working on right now? Or what's the biggest challenge in your industry that your industry is facing? How did you get into your field? What's your story? And my personal favorite, what are you passionate about outside of work? These kinds of questions open the door to real conversations, and they help you find common ground beyond just job titles. This is how you go from being a random contact to a real connection. The takeaway here is to be selective. Your goal isn't to meet everyone in the room. Aim for 2, 3 memorable, in-depth conversations. That's it. It's less intimidating, more enjoyable, and so much more effective. Moving on to secret number 4, the curation strategy. Build your circle with purpose. The fourth secret is about being intentional. Let's call it the curation strategy. A lot of networking advice just says to show up, but a much smarter approach is to be deliberate. A strategic networking plan is your roadmap to make sure your efforts actually line up with your goals. This starts with defining why you're networking. Are you looking for a mentor? Are you exploring a new industry? Are you searching for clients? Once you know what you want, you can identify the right people to connect with. And it's a huge mistake to only network up with senior people. A truly powerful network is diverse. It includes your peers, your future leaders, junior colleagues who know the newest trends, and people from totally different industries who can offer a fresh perspective you'd never find otherwise. Think of yourself as the curator of your own professional network. You want a collection that's diverse, interesting, and valuable in many different ways. So, how do you curate it? First, make a list, not of random people, but of roles, companies, type of expertise you want to connect with. If you want to move into tech, your list should be software engineers, product managers, or VCs. Use LinkedIn and other platforms to research people in those roles. You can even use the newer AI-driven tools that suggest connections based on your goals. So once you have your list, don't just send a cold connection request. Find a warmer path. Do you have a mutual connection? Are they speaking at an event you could attend? Have they written an article you can thoughtfully comment on to start building that rapport? Third, do your homework. Before you talk to someone on your target list, read their LinkedIn, check out their company, see if they've been on any podcast. This lets you ask specific, relevant questions that show you invested time and respect their time. Nothing builds a connection faster than showing you cared enough to do a little research. It's like building a personal board of directors. You'd want experts in finance, in marketing, in operations, not just 5 of the same person. So curate your network with that same intention. And lastly, secret 5, the follow-up formula. Nurture your network like a garden. The final secret is where most networking efforts fall apart. You can have an amazing conversation, but if you don't follow up, then that connection will just fade away. Failing to maintain contact is one of the biggest mistakes you can make. Think of your network as a garden. You can't just plant seeds and walk away. You have to water them, you have to give them sunlight. Your professional relationships need that same consistent nurturing. The problem is most people don't have a system. Their follow-up is random, or worse, they only show up when they need a favor. The key is to have a simple, repeatable process. So here's a 3-part formula that works. Part 1 is immediate follow-up. Within 24 hours of meeting someone, send a personalized message. And please note generic templates. Reference something specific from your conversation. For example, great meeting you yesterday. I really enjoyed our chat about the future of AI in digital marketing. And I'm definitely going to check out that book that you recommended. See, this makes you memorable. Part 2 is the value add check-in. This is the nurturing phase. Every few months, find a reason to reach out that isn't about you. This is where our secret, the value first mandate, comes into play. Send them an interesting article. Congratulate them on their promotion. Share an opportunity that seems like a good fit for them. Why not? The goal is to stay on their radar in a positive, helpful way. And part 3 is the update loop. If someone in your network helps you, offers advice or introduction, always close the loop. Send a thank you note and let them know how the conversation went. If you act on their advice, send them an update a few months later, sharing the results. This shows that you value their help and makes them much more likely to help you again. So these are the secrets of networking smarter. We have talked about shifting your mindset from collecting to connecting, giving value first, going for depth over distance, curating your circle with purpose, and following up like a pro. I strongly believe that networking can transform your career, your confidence, and life. So here's your challenge. Reach out to one person this week and start a meaningful conversation. आपका करियर चल रहा है बट ग्रो नहीं कर रहा है. टारगेट्स मीट करते हो, बॉस को इम्प्रेस करते हो, हार्ड वर्क भी करते हो, फिर भी प्रमोशन किसी और को मिल जाता है. वेल, वेलकम टू द इंडियन कॉर्पोरेट जंगल. यहाँ सिर्फ मेहनत काम नहीं आती. यू गॉट टू अंडरस्टैंड पीपल, परसेप्शन और प्रेजेंस. इन टुडेज वीडियो मैं आपके साथ शेयर करने वाला हूँ 5 रियल लेसन्स जो आपको हेल्प करेंगे ग्रो करने विदाउट पॉलिटिक्स. और एक बोनस लेसन भी है एंड में. ये लेसन्स मैंने अपने एक्सपीरियंस से सीखे हैं द हार्ड वे. लेसन नंबर 1, हार्ड वर्क डजंट स्पीक, यू डू. देखो, एक मिथ है, मेरा काम खुद बोलता है. रियलिटी नहीं बोलता. In Indian corporate culture, performance is your entry ticket, but visibility is your promotion pass. You might be doing great work, but अगर किसी को मतलब कोई नोटिस नहीं कर रहा है तो what's the point? So here's what you can do. अपने प्रोजेक्ट अपडेट शेयर करो कॉन्फिडेंटली बट रिस्पेक्टफुली. मीटिंग्स में बोलो, चाहे एक पॉइंट ही सही. और जब मौका मिले, प्रेजेंट योर टीम्स अचीवमेंट्स. Remember, self-promotion is not showing off. It's just showing up. Lesson 2, बॉस को मैनेज करना सीखो. मैनेजिंग अप. एक सिंपल ट्रूथ है, आपका बॉस ही आपका ब्रांड एम्बेसडर है. इन इंडियन ऑफिसेस वही आपके ग्रोथ के डोर्स ओपन करता है. तो उनके गोल समझो, उनके एक्सपेक्टेशंस क्लियर करो और उन्हें सरप्राइज मत करो. कीप देम अपडेटेड. मैं भी पहले सोचता था कि मेरा काम कर रहा हूं बस, बट वंस आई स्टार्टेड मैनेजिंग अप, अलाइनिंग विद माय बॉस, माय करियर ग्राफ वेंट अप. बॉस को इंप्रेस मत करो, बॉस को एनेबल करो. लेसन नंबर 3, बिल्ड रियल रिलेशनशिप्स. कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड में एक चीज क्लियर है, लोगों के साथ मिलके चलो तो ग्रोथ गारंटीड है. नेटवर्किंग सिर्फ इवेंट्स पे नहीं करने का. इट्स अ डेली हैबिट. हेल्पिंग अदर्स, कोलैबोरेटिंग क्रॉस टीम्स और एक रेपुटेशन बनाना एज समवन पीपल लव टू वर्क विथ. एक सिंपल टिप, अपनी कंपनी के 3-4 डिपार्टमेंट के लोगों से जेन्युइन रिलेशनशिप बनाओ. लंच करो, चाय पियो, कोलैबोरेट करो, उनके काम को समझो. क्योंकि प्रमोशन सिर्फ बॉस ही नहीं देता, उसके बारे में बात भी तो करनी पड़ती है. लेसन नंबर 4, इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस इज ग्रेटर दैन टेक्निकल स्किल्स. कॉर्पोरेट इंडिया में सिर्फ स्मार्ट होना इनफ नहीं है, समझदार होना जरूरी है. देयर विल बी ईगोज, सीनियरिटी, पॉलिटिक्स, और हर बात लॉजिक से नहीं जीती जा सकती है भाई. इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस का मतलब ये नहीं है कि चुप रहो. इट मीन्स नोइंग कब, कैसे, किस टोन में बोलना है. मैं एक बार एक सीनियर के साथ आर्ग्यूमेंट में पड़ गया था. मैं राइट था बट आई लॉस्ट रिस्पेक्ट. दैट डे आई लर्न, बीइंग राइट इज गुड, बीइंग वाइज इज बेटर. लेसन नंबर 5, स्टॉप वेटिंग, स्टार्ट एक्टिंग लाइक अ लीडर. प्रमोशन का वेट मत करो. लीडरशिप टाइटल से नहीं, बिहेवियर से शुरू होता है. स्टार्ट एक्टिंग लाइक अ लीडर बिफोर यू बिकम. मेंटर करो जूनियर्स को, न्यू हायर्स को. सॉल्व करो प्रॉब्लम्स प्रोएक्टिव. थिंक बियॉन्ड योर रोल. बिकॉज जब आप लीडर मोड में काम करते हैं, लोग आपको वैसे ही देखने लगते हैं और एक दिन वो टाइटल ऑटोमेटिक मिल जाता है. और अब आपके लिए एक बोनस लेसन है, ग्रोथ विद ग्रेस. इंडियन कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड कॉम्पिटिटिव है, नो डाउट, पर जो लोग ग्रोथ के साथ ग्रेस मेंटेन करते हैं वो लॉन्ग टर्म जीतते हैं, क्योंकि ऑफिस पॉलिटिक्स टेम्पररी होती है बट रेपुटेशन परमानेंट होता है। एम्बिशन रखना गलत नहीं है, बस उसे एटीट्यूड मत बनाओ। बी एम्बिशियस बट स्टे हम्बल, बी स्मार्ट बट स्टे काइंड। दैट्स द कॉम्बो दैट विल विन। तो आज का एक्शन स्टेप, पिक वन ऑफ दीज 5 लेसन्स और इस वीक उसे इंप्लीमेंट करो, because career growth doesn't happen by chance, it happens by choice.
Welcome back to HR Simplified. Today's topic is on popular demand. Today we are talking about something that almost every professional has experienced and honestly sometimes dreaded. Appraisals. That one meeting every year that can change your salary, your motivation, and sometimes even how you feel about your job. If you have ever walked out of an appraisal thinking, I worked so hard this year, how did this happen? Or why did that person get a bigger hike? Does my manager even see the effort I put in? Then this episode is for you. Because today I want to simplify 3 things. Why appraisals feel unfair. What most professionals get wrong about them. And what you can start doing today to make your next appraisal cycle work in your favor. So let's start with the question, why appraisals feel so emotional? Something very honest, appraisals are not just about money. They are about recognition, validation, and growth. When someone spends 12 months working late nights, solving problems, supporting teams, and delivering the results, they don't just want a salary increase. They want someone to say, "We saw what you did." And when that doesn't happen the way we expect, it hurts. I remember speaking to a professional once. He must be around 28, 29 years old, extremely hardworking, extremely committed. He told me something very interesting. He said the salary increase doesn't bother me as much as the rating. Because in his mind, the rating was a judgment of his worth. But here's something most professionals, they realize too late. Appraisals are not always a perfect reflection of effort. They are a combination of results, of visibility, perception, and of course, organizational constraints. And if you don't understand that system, you'll always feel like the system is unfair. Now, here's the most common mistake I see professionals make during the appraisal cycles. They believe that hard work automatically gets noticed. Let me say that again. Many people believe that if they work hard, deliver results, and stay sincere, recognition will automatically follow. Unfortunately, that's not always how organizations work. Managers, they're busy. Leaders, they're handling multiple teams. Sometimes the work you do is invisible unless you communicate it effectively. Think about this. 2 professionals work equally hard. One quietly completes the tasks. The other shares progress updates, documents the achievements, aligns with stakeholders, and also communicates the impact. Who do you think gets more visibility? The second one, right? not because they are better, but because their work is visible and measurable. And that visibility often influences appraisals. Many professionals, they assume that managers evaluate them purely based on output. But managers often look at three things. The first one is reliability. Can this person be trusted with responsibility? Do they deliver without constant follow-ups? Reliability builds confidence, and confidence influences promotions. The second one is problem ownership. Great professionals, they don't just report problems. They say, here's the problem, and here are two possible solutions. Managers, they remember people who reduce their stress. Keep in mind. And the third one is influence. At mid-career levels, especially between 30 and 45 years, success is not just about individual work. It's about influence. Can you collaborate across teams? Can you align stakeholders? Can you drive outcomes through others? Because leadership potential often shows up through influence. If you want to approach the next appraisal cycle differently, then here are three simple habits that can make a huge difference. The first one, maintain an achievement journal. That's what I call it. Every week, write down key projects you've worked on, impact that you have delivered, problems that you have solved. And when appraisal season comes, you won't struggle to remember your contributions. The second one is have growth conversations early. Don't wait for the appraisal meeting. Ask your manager mid-year, what should I focus on to grow to the next level? This creates alignment early. And the third one, focus on impact, not the effort. Don't get confused between effort and results. Organizations, they reward impact, not the number of hours worked. Ask yourself regularly, is the work I'm doing moving the business forward? If the answer is yes, communicate it. And if the answer is no, redirect your effort. Let me leave you with this thought. An appraisal is not a verdict on your capability. It's a snapshot of how your work was perceived in a given year. Some years will feel rewarding, some will feel disappointing. But the professionals who grow consistently are the ones who learn from every cycle. They understand the system, they improve the visibility, and they align their effort with impact. If you approach appraisals with that mindset, the conversation changes. And so does your career trajectory. Thank you so much for listening to HR Simplified. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a colleague who's probably going through appraisal season right now. And remember, your career growth is not a yearly event.
Be honest with me for a second. The last appraisal, did your manager actually tell you what you'd get? Or did you just get a letter? You read the number, felt a little disappointed, and told yourself, okay, chalo, and went back to your desk. That moment, that quiet acceptance, that's costing you lakhs every single year. I've worked with ops managers in Pune getting underpaid against their own peers. HR leaders in Hyderabad who discovered their junior was earning more after the job switch. Trainers turned professionals who didn't even know that negotiating was allowed. Here's what I found out. It was never about talent. It was always about five specific mistakes. Mistakes nobody teaches you in college, nobody tells you at onboarding, and your company is absolutely not going to volunteer. I'm going to give you all five today and exactly what to say instead. Because the next offer letter you sign should not be the one they want to give you. It should be the one that you deserve. Now, HR calls or they ask you in the interview, what are your salary expectations? And you say 15 to 20 lakhs per annum. Done. Over. You just lost the negotiation before it even started. Because here's what happened in their head the moment you gave that grade 15 it is. You handed them the ceiling and called it a range. The rule is simple. Whoever says a number first loses. In a negotiation, the first number is an anchor. And if you drop the anchor, they'll chain you to it. Instead, say this, write this down. Can you help me understand the full scope of the role before we talk numbers? I'm sure if it's a strong fit, we can agree on something fair for both sides. Calm, confident, no number. Now they have to show their hand first. I coached a senior ops manager, great performer, 15 years of experience. When she finally asked for a raise, she told the manager, I need this because I've been here 5 years and my expenses have gone up. Now her manager nodded sympathetically and gave her 8%. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Corporate India doesn't negotiate with your needs. It negotiates with your value. No manager is going to go to the CFO or the function head and say we need to pay her more because her rent went up. But they will say her profile is being approached by competitors. The market rate for her role in this city is 20% higher than what we are paying her. We need to move. So before your next appraisal, do this. Go to LinkedIn Salary, Glassdoor, Ambition Box, get 3 data points. Then say, based on the current market, for someone with my experience in this domain, the going range in Pune is X to Y. I'd like to align my compensation to that. Now, you're not asking for a favor. You're correcting a market inefficiency. That's a completely different conversation. Now, if you're watching this and thinking, yeah, I wish someone had told me this 5 years ago, then share this with one person right now who needs to hear it. A friend, a colleague, someone in your family who's just accepted whatever they were given. And if you want more of this every week, tactics for how to earn more, lead better, and actually build a career that respects your effort, then you subscribe. Now back to it. Because mistake number 3 is the one that kills appraisals for even senior people. Most people, they negotiate like salary is one thing. Well, it's not. It's a pie. And when the HR says we can't go higher on fixed pay, most people hear no and stop. That's the mistake. Because sometimes the fixed pay band is genuinely locked. The budget is capped at that level for that grade. But the variable payout percentage, that's flexible. The joining bonus, that's very flexible. The role level, whether they hire you as a senior associate or a manager, absolutely negotiable. Ask these 3 questions. Is there room in the variable or the performance linked component? The second one, is there a one-time joining bonus possible given the gap with my expectations? And the third one, would it be possible to revisit this after a 6-month review? Money is money. It doesn't matter which column or where it sits in your structure. Don't let that internal labels become your ceiling. This one is personal for a lot of people. You've been in the same company for 6, 7, 10 years. You've never created trouble. You stayed through the tough quarters. You trained the new hires, and you genuinely feel like that should count for something at appraisal time. It does count, just not in the way you think. Loyalty keeps you safe. It doesn't get you paid. What gets you paid is being able to say with documents, in the last 12 months, I led X. which delivered Y, the results to the business, impact, numbers, outcomes. I call it own it method. O for observe your wins throughout the year, W for write them down with actual numbers, N for name the value they created for the company. Then when appraisal time comes, you're not talking about how long you stayed. You're talking about what you built. That's the conversation that gets you 20%, not 8%. Last one, and this might make you uncomfortable. If you cannot walk away from this offer, you're not negotiating. You're hoping. And hope, it is not a strategy. I'm not telling you to quit. I'm telling you this, the moment you know you have options, everything changes. The way you speak changes. The energy in the room changes. HR, and I say this from experience, coaching both sides, HR can feel desperation, and they will, consciously or not, use it. So here's what I want you to do this week. Not if you're job hunting, not if you're unhappy, just as a practice. Update your resume. Turn on open to work privately on LinkedIn. Have one conversation with a recruiter, not to leave, just to know your worth in the market today. Because when you sit in that appraisal meeting, knowing you have options, you won't beg, you'll negotiate. And that difference, that quiet confidence is worth lakhs. So tell me in the comments, which of these 5 was you? The person who gave their number too early, who played the loyalty card, who accepted the first offer without a single question. No judgment. I have seen VPs make these same mistakes. And if you know someone right now who's negotiating a new offer letter and is about to hit accept, please send them this video. One share could change what they earn for the next 5 years. I read every comment, so drop yours below and I'll give you specific advice for your situation. So let's talk about money. You're earning, maybe even earning well, but still at the end of the month, zero balance. Is it a familiar story? We all chase salary growth, but real financial growth, that starts when your money starts working for you. In this video, I'm not going to talk about saving tips or budgeting hacks. I will share 5 simple lessons with you that will help you move towards financial freedom. And yes, a bonus tip at the end as well. So we are going to go beyond salary into the mindset and habits that actually lead to financial freedom. Because freedom isn't when you earn more. It's when you worry less. So let's start with lesson number 1. Don't just earn, learn to multiply. See, no one grows rich with salary alone. Those who put in their money to work are the ones who grow wealthy. Most young professionals, they think, let me first earn more, then I'll invest. But the reality is you start investing to earn more in the long run. Start small, SIPs, index funds, mutual funds. Do what you understand. Start with that. The point is not the amount, it's the habit. Because compounding doesn't care about your salary. It rewards your consistency. Lesson 2, salary is stability. Side income is freedom. So salary will give you the comfort, but multiple incomes will give you the control. You don't need to quit your job. You just need to explore your skills. Freelancing, coaching, consulting, create. There's always something you can do on the side. Even a small 5,000 rupees side income gives you the confidence that your future doesn't depend on one job or one company. Financial freedom starts when your earning identity, it expands. But yes, be careful that you're not doing the same work for others that you're doing for your company. So read your company policies clearly. Lesson number 3, control expenses, don't kill joy. Now don't ask me, are you saying stop spending? Not at all. I'm saying start spending consciously. You don't need to cut your coffee. You just need to cut the clueless spending. Every month you check your expenses and ask, did this make me happier or busier? So replace the impulsive spending that you have with intentional investing. That's how you build wealth without killing joy. Lesson number 4, understand the real enemy. That is the lifestyle inflation. This is the most dangerous trap. I'll save when I earn more. But when you earn more, you tend to spend more, isn't it? New job, new iPhone. Promotion, new car. Raise, another EMI. That's not progress, that's pressure. Every time your income grows, grow your savings before your lifestyle. Financial freedom doesn't mean that you can afford anything. It means that there is no need for you to afford anything. And lesson 5, invest in skills before stocks. A lot of people ask me, Ravi, should I invest in stocks or crypto? And I always say, first, invest in yourself. Learn communication, learn leadership, or any skill that increases your earning capacity. Because the best ROI doesn't come from markets, it comes from mindset. Your skills are your greatest assets. Remember that. And the most valuable you become, the more opportunities chase you. And now it's time for the bonus tip. Redefine rich. In India, most of the folks, they measure being rich by the amount of money we have, isn't it? But think about it. What's the point of earning lakhs of rupees if you don't have time, peace, or purpose? According to me, real wealth is money plus time plus freedom to choose how you live. Financial freedom is when you can say no to things that drain you and yes to things that grow you. So here's your challenge for this week. Pick one small financial habit. Maybe automate your savings or start a SIP or learn a new skill. Do it for 30 days and you'll see your confidence shift. And that's a wrap on the Career Growth Masterclass. If you have watched this far, you're already ahead of 90% of the professionals who wait for someone else to invest in them. You have just invested 90 minutes in yourself. That matters. If there's one thing I want you to walk away with, it's this. Your career doesn't grow by accident. It grows when you build the right skills, when you make your work visible, when you build relationships that matter, and when you ask for what you deserve. So start with one thing today, just one. Do it this week. If this video helped you, share it with one person in your network who needs to watch this. And drop a comment telling me which chapter hit hardest. I read every comment. And if you haven't already subscribed, then subscribe because I post videos every week. And I'd love to have you back. I'm Ravi Motwani. Take care of yourself. Keep growing, and I'll see you in the next one.